I'm driving a Rolls Royce, Ma! Hey guys, I'm Sean from Bikes and Beards, and I'm sitting right in front of a 2014 Rolls Royce Wraith. This is a $360,000 car, which is double, maybe triple what my house is worth. It's amazing. Is it really worth that? We'll dive into it. Now, the Rolls Royce Wraith is based off the Ghost platform, except it's a two-door, and it's supposed to be a little bit more sporty. It's actually one of the most powerful Rolls Royces they've ever came out with, but not the most powerful engine Rolls Royce has ever made, because we all know Rolls Royce makes engines for the big planes. But this is a 625 horsepower engine, twin turbo V12. It's not a supercar in terms of performance, but it's faster than your car. Pretty much whatever you have, it's probably faster than your car. Now, unlike most guys that are reviewing cars like this, they're kind of used to it. It's not a big deal for them to have that amount of money in that small of a compact. Now, I've walked into houses that are worth that much. I've walked into houses that are worth a little bit more than that. But have I ever driven a car that was worth that much? Absolutely not. So for me, it's kind of a big deal. I'm kind of freaking out. And I did probably most of the normal things that you would have done if you were in my same situation. Yeah, Ma, calling from the Rolls Royce. Yeah, Rolls Royce Wraith. Yep, okay, bye, Mom. I also considered stealing the floor mats out of the Rolls Royce because they were a $2,000 option and selling them on eBay. They don't actually do very much on eBay. There's a lot of competition. So I put them back. Oh, yeah, Grandma, guess where I'm calling you from? A Rolls Royce, it's amazing. Okay, bye. The umbrellas that pull out of here, I tried buying a Mercedes-Benz umbrella and sticking it in there. It flew back at me. The Rolls-Royce spit it out. It wouldn't work without its actual Rolls-Royce umbrella inside. I was going to keep this for myself. Hey, Mrs. Brown. This is Sean from your 5th grade class. Remember that kid that you said would never amount to anything? Well, guess who's calling from a Rolls Royce? And like most of you would have done, I spent every single night sleeping in the Rolls. I also spent the better part of Saturday sitting in this seat, opening and closing the door. Yeah, I'm calling you from a Rolls Royce Wraith. Oh, this is Sean. I don't know you either. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about this Rolls Royce is I could not find any crash safety data on this vehicle. I even called the Rolls Royce dealership and asked them about it. He told me to go to the .gov, carsafety.gov website, which I did while he was on the phone. Nothing. There's no data that I could find on crash test safety on the Rolls Royce Wraith or probably the other Rolls Royces. Now, not that I think there's any type of conspiracy going on that this is an unsafe car. It's the opposite. I think this thing is so safe, they couldn't crash it. It wouldn't let itself crash. They try to run it into the wall, the computer kicks in, you can't crash it. I mean, the thing is fit with all the BMW 7 Series safety things, airbag, knee airbag, side airbag, top airbag. That button's probably an airbag. That's probably an airbag for my forehead. I mean, there's airbags all over the place. I'm sure this thing is absolutely safe. It drives like a tank. But it makes you wonder, why is this Rolls Royce worth so much? Why does it cost so much? Why do they sell it for so much? Obviously, they're making a good profit. No one blames them for that. But how are they able to sell it for that? But how is it worth that much? Ultimately, what it comes down to is the details. The fine little details that you won't see in any other car. Like this, the Rolls Royce clock. This is actually made from a dying star. These buttons are made from ivory from albino tigers. This steering wheel is actually made with 1,000 souls. Everything on this car is the most exclusive, most rare things you've ever seen. Picasso painted that pinstripe. Not only does this car tell me how many miles till empty, the temperature, how many miles, tire pressure, all those things, it also tells me when my taxes are due, when my wife's birthday is, when your wife's birthday is, and when the second coming of Jesus is coming. But don't believe it. no one knows when the second coming of Jesus is. The stereo is probably the most insane feature on this entire car.
That was perfect. I'm gonna work it to impress you. Get you that dress and then things only the best. Do what you.
So another thing you get with a $360,000 vehicle is one, it's actually a very simple setup. You got your radio, multimedia. I was able to put my phone in there. Although surprisingly, you can only have 4 preset phones inside of it. I would think for that kind of money, you put as many as you want. Navigation, office. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, what's office? Office is where you have your, whatever current office is, unread messages. That's cool. Messages. We have no messages. And then my personal favorite, voice memos. Now, this was cleared when I got here, but like anyone would do, I added a couple voice memos. Just to let you know, whoever buys this Rolls Royce is haunted, but it's worth the hassle. It's very amazing. That's good to know. It's good to know for the next person that gets this. Let's see what the other voice memo says. If you're listening to this and you stole my Rolls Royce Wraith, please give me a call back. The number is listed on the car. Don't take it to like McDonald's or anything like that. Don't get it all greasy. Just take a shower before you drive it. A really cool feature I found about the Rolls Royce door was, you know when you open up the car door of a normal car, it's got a spring point that it'll pop to, and then it sits right there. So it's not gonna open up and hit someone else's door next to you, where the wind's not gonna catch it. The Rolls Royce door can do that anywhere. Maybe you have a real tight jam right there. Once it's stopped, that's the point. That's the point. It's not gonna blow. It's not gonna swing open. It's not gonna do anything. Push it past that. A little bit more. Okay. Now that's the point. That's what you get from a Rolls. Now normally, Rolls Royce owner would never do this because this is ridiculous. Why would you ever need to see the engine? But it is a V12 twin turbo. So unlike a Ferrari or something like that, where this is all made to look good, this is all for show. These are not the actual intake runners. This is just a facade. Sound deadening stuff to keep the engine a little bit quiet, to cover up the ugly looking but extremely well designed, extremely powerful, 600 some horsepower twin turbo V12. Something that Rolls Royce is kind of proud to say is that they say that you can put a penny on any flat surface of the engine, maybe of the block, probably just of the engine, and it'll sit there perfectly while it's running. Now Goldwing has a similar thing where you can put a quarter on the head of the Goldwing and it won't bounce off. I'm scared I'm gonna drop the penny inside the engine. Well, I can't even get these things to stand on this stuff. Oh well. We were not able to do that. Alright guys, let's see how this thing actually runs. So this is my second time driving the Rolls Royce. I did drive it around the development. Actual driving, maybe a mile. Time sitting in the car, somewhere around 5 hours. If you're ever wondering why you need this much power, who cares? You paid $360,000 for it. They better give you a ton of power. I mean, 600 horsepower should be the minimum when you're paying that kind of money. I think it's 620 something horsepower, and it does move. But the biggest reason why they put a V12 in it is because they want that, it's got to be smooth. It's got to be incredibly smooth, very refined, very quiet. But when you get on the gas, it does have a great sound to it. A lot of the other manufacturers are doing this too. I don't know, I think BMW does it. I think Mercedes does it. Apparently Rolls does it. They were probably the one that started it, I don't know. But there's no shift on the column, there's no shift on the lever. It's all push buttons. So you just grab this tiny little lever, pull it down, reverse, pull it down, neutral, pull it down, drive, press the little button, park. Apparently you can have the heated seat and the cooled seat on at the same time. I'm not sure why that's a feature that that wealthy people want, but apparently they do. Let's just do it. There we go. Full heat, full cool. I want everything. I want my windows down with the AC on and the heat blowing. I want it all. On the dial for the blower, it's not low, medium, high, max. It's actually off, soft, medium, high, max. I feel like if you're going to use words like soft, and then, well, why jump back into medium and high? Why don't you just use soft, rough? Well, okay, you can't have anything rough in a Rolls Royce. I'm driving a Rolls Royce, Ma! Nothing classier than screaming out of your Rolls Royce that you're driving a Rolls Royce. If they're using a mildly vibrating steering wheel to let you know, hey, you're drifting off, that's almost like using like a vibrating seat to let you know, hey, you're getting a little tired. Let me finish you off by just making everything perfectly comfortable and warm and cozy. There's a gauge on here that says power reserve percentage. So it lets you know. Right now we're using none power. Let's see how much power we can use. 20% left. No power left. All right. We went from using no power, now it's back to 100% power left. It moved, but it's so incredibly soft. It's the softest, most powerful accelerating vehicle I've ever driven in my life by far. You know, like if you're driving some piece of junk car where it's rattling and you shift and you really feel everything, you know, if it's running 15 seconds in the quarter mile, it feels super fast. I think this is a 12 or 13 second quarter mile car, which is fast by most people's definition, but it's just so smooth. I'm finally understanding why rich people want to be cooled and heated at the same time. My middle back, where you would probably get the most sweat, my middle back is nice and cool, but everything else is nice and heated. It's very it's delightful. It's very delightful. This is where this car actually belongs. Back here in the back roads, in the villas. Lidditz Villa, Mannheim Villa. Well, it's been a lot of fun driving this Rolls Royce. Might be hard for me to go back to my other car, but I'll manage. Heating and cooled seats is gonna be tough to come back from, but you know what? I could just get my shirt all wet and then put the heater on real hard. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys later.